All right, welcome back, guys. This is the Thin Blue Line Outdoors Podcast, episode 35. I was right last time. We recorded a podcast a couple days ago with some buddies. I was guessing if it was 34 or not. I was correct. Doesn't happen very often, but I was right this time. Anyway, I have a returning guest, Cody Gravitt. So he was on the podcast a few podcasts ago now. I think it's been already over a month, maybe even two. I think it was. We're pretty close, like a month and a half, something like that.
Bit.
So I know some stuff have changed in my life, and then I think a little bit in his deer hunting life, which is good. So I think you picked up. We'll talk about it here in a little bit, but I think you picked up the lease since last time. So
That's correct.
So we'll bring that up. But one thing I really want to talk to Cody about, because he's kind of got a head start on me when it comes to kiddos. But if you don't know, I had a son. My son is born. So he is 10 days old, 11 days old, something like that, around there. And, healthy, baby boy. Everything's good. Mom was okay. My daughter's getting used to being big sis life. Everything's good. Everything's been great on that. One thing I want to get Cody's perspective on is raising a family into the outdoors. And we can go with this topic wherever we want. I feel like my wife and I have done a pretty good job getting our daughter, even though she's young. She only turns 3 here in March. But I feel like we've done a pretty good job getting her in the outdoors, fishing, especially got her mushroom hunting and stuff like that, shed hunting. I haven't actually taken her hunting yet, even though she has begged to go a few times, and I'm gearing up and going. But yeah, anyway, you got a kind of head start on me. You kind of want to give me your perspective on that, and then what you have done so far, and then maybe what you plan on doing in the future as they get a little older.
Okay. My oldest son's 5, and he's just starting to get to the point now where he's interested in going. Not necessarily has a desire yet, but he's starting to get interested in doing it. We've done a matter of things. He loves fishing, loves being out in the boat, and I think that was kind of the starting point, taking him bluegill fishing and kind of getting him introduced to the outdoors. But hunting wise, I mean, it's difficult having a family. It's not easy with making sure the boss, your wife or girlfriend's okay with you going out and leaving the kids with her.
And interrupt you. The funny thing is too with the two Codys here. Obviously we have the same first name, spelled differently, but same first name. Pretty close age, graduated together. Both our wives are nurses as well, so
Yes.
It's very ironic. But anyway, continue.
I mean, stranger things have happened, but
That's true.
No, it's been a fun ride, and the biggest thing is, like, I've taken him deer hunting this year. First shotgun season, I took him out, and that was an adventure.
Yeah.
I took him out. It was kind of cold. I got him all bundled up.
I remember you sending me the pictures.
Yeah, we got up at 4 o'clock in the morning. He fell asleep. I had to basically dress him asleep. It was a good time, but we got out there and he was all excited and every little noise. We heard some coyotes. He's like, "Oh, what's that? What's that?" You could tell him to be quiet and settle down and just kind of explain things to him. And it was a blast. Not 15 minutes after being in the deer stand, I'm cold. Okay, and then I was not deer stand, ground blind, but not 20 minutes after we got there, the sun wasn't even up yet. I hear some snoring, and I'm like, "There's no way." He was asleep. He's laying all curled up in a ball, and he was asleep. So it was a peaceful morning to say the least. But he woke up about 9 o'clock, and I packed him a little lunchbox full of snacks, and me and him had some Little Debbie's and zingers and everything we could get in there, and it was a good time. It was a good experience. But the biggest thing I've noticed with kids, and every kid's going to be different, is don't force them to do it.
Yep.
I took him shed hunting once, and he was all excited. He's like, "Well, what's this? This is new." And he hasn't wanted to go back since.
Yeah.
But I think that's the biggest mistake people make is forcing their kids to do it, and then they don't want to. So I kind of encourage him to do it, and then eventually, kind of ease him into it because he's still young. I mean, I was probably 5 when I started hunting with my dad, and I look older. I started hunting with my grandpa, and I was probably 14 before I started hunting by myself. But No, I'm looking forward to making the memories with the kids. You know, that's one of the. I still enjoy going out with my dad and going to sit in the woods. And Grandpa was still here. I enjoyed the hell out of going out with him. I mean, I love that.
Yep.
You know, those memories that I'll have for the rest of my life, and I hope that my kids will have for theirs, and I hope it's a pleasant one. And yeah, it's definitely different. You know, it's different when you're watching out for yourself versus now you got a little kid. You got mini me out there, and you got to watch out for them too, and kind of teach them the do's and don'ts. But some things you got to kind of let them learn too.
Yep. I had my first experience of taking my daughter in like bad weather. Took her ice fishing about a week ago now. She caught a bluegill right off the bat. Actually, she caught the first bluegill of the day, which you know, she wasn't even reeling. She just grabbing the pole, and I set the hook, hand it to her, and she's just yanking. I'm, you know, grabbing the string, bringing it up. But she was super excited. You know, I thought I did good. I brought her a little chair. I had all her warm gear on. You know, trying to get her as warm as possible. I even brought a heater, but what I didn't bring, and I think that was my downfall, and I had plenty of snacks. I even had my tablet so she could watch cartoons and stuff. But I didn't bring a tent to put her in. It was kind of windy, and even though I had my heater right next to her, and she was getting definitely some of that warmth, but that warmth was, you know, just going into the air. There's nothing to hold it in. And I think if I had brought maybe like a hunting tent or something, set it up, and we were ice fishing through it, I think that would have helped her more. Because she did good for about 20 minutes probably, and then daddy up, home, up, home. And since we were going right down the hill, I'm like, okay. That's fine. But I already promised because she kept asking me hunting. I'm like, next year, I'll take you next year. So next year is my plan. Even though she's only 3, I'm gonna get her all bundled up and probably do early season where it's not that cold and bring the tablet. And I know she loves seeing deer. So I already know the issue I'm gonna have is when we see a deer, Daddy deer. But people keep calling me, damn it. Anyway, because how many... Damn it. Listen, people are going to watch this podcast. It's Nate that keeps calling me. Nate who's been on the podcast multiple times. So you can tell him to stop bothering us. But, anyway, because how many... You got 3 kids?
2 kids.
2 kids. Okay, I was off on 1. He's going to be a 3, maybe?
No.
That's it.
Where my wife is fixed, and if that even becomes a remote possibility, I will get fixed as well. 2's the limit.
And see, 5 and...
5 and then 2.
2. Gotcha. So, obviously you've gotten your boy into hunting a little bit and stuff. What's your plan to slowly intricate them more and more into the outdoors without, you know, forcing it on them?
That's a fantastic question. I have no idea, to be honest. I kind of, so what we do is I watch hunting, fishing, ice fishing, anything outdoor related. I watch it 24/7. It's on a morphine drip at my house always. My wife absolutely despises it. And
what you got the outdoor channel?
I use the My Outdoor TV and YouTube.
Gotcha. I had my outdoor TV for a while, but then I discontinued it just because. Well, you know how it is when they're real young. They can watch TV like I wanted.
Yeah, it's so I run it constantly, and I'm hoping I try to do different things and try to show him like different animals because he loves animals, and both of them do actually. I'm just trying to get him slowly incorporated in it and say, hey, I want to do that. So my goal is to not this spring, but this summer I'd like to take him out and kind of go scouting, just get him introduced to walk into the woods and kind of the nature of it. And then I think squirrel season rolls around. I think he'll be 6 in May, so I think we're going to start off with some squirrel hunting and then just slowly introduce him in and not try to push it because there's going to be days, there's days I don't want to go. You know, there's days it becomes a job, and you know I just got to make sure, you know, just because I want to do it doesn't mean they do. So I'm gonna try to slowly get them introduced to that, and I buy them like outdoor toys. Just say, hey, you know, we can go do that, and you know, I'm trying to introduce the idea and with them, and they seem to be about it. They like watching. They love turkey hunting. They like the gobbles. We practice gobbling out all the time with them. They love it. Love it. The elk bugling is new. We watched the new episode of Meat Eater came out. We watched the elk episode, and the kids were trying to do it, running around the house. It was great.
Mm-hmm.
I bought them. I actually got an auction a coyote or a rabbit distress call.
Mm-hmm.
I gave it to them and sent it to their grandparents and let them blow it around the house. They love it.
I bet.
It's real easy to blow, and
Mm-hmm.
even the little one does it, and it's great. And
That's awesome. Yeah, I bet the grandparents are like, great. Yeah, kind of the way I've been approaching it with Remy so far. My daughter is kind of when she starts asking about it. Like at the end of hunting season this year, she started saying, "Dad, hunt too? Me too?" And I'm like, "Still cold now. I ain't gonna take you right now." But I'm like, "Okay, next year. Next year, I'll take her. Take her once or twice at least out with me." And I'm sure she'll like that. This last spring, took her mushroom hunting quite a bit, and we did go shed hunting, which she likes walking in the woods. That's one thing nice living on the farm. We just go for a walk, and she wants to go for a walk and go through the woods and stuff. But mushroom hunting, she really got behind this year, man. Like
nice.
once she kind of figured out what we were after, she'd get pissed off when we weren't seeing mushrooms. She's like, more. I'm like, I'm trying here. Which we actually did find her first shed. That last year, so she was excited about that, so that's good.
That's great. And I just started getting pictures of deer dropping. I think I sent you one the other day, and I think I'm gonna try it. We get the snowmageddon to go away a little bit. I'm gonna try to get the kids out and maybe get them interested in it.
If they dropped antlers, hang on. And we're back. Everybody, I promised him I was gonna talk shit about him, so here we go. Nate. You're welcome. You kept interrupting the podcast. He even called my wife to get us to stop. Damn it. Oh, no big deal. We get it figured out. But anyway, like I said, kind of get to the point where once my kiddos kind of start asking about stuff is my plan. I know obviously fishing's a big deal. It's easy. Remy already fishes. Honestly, I'll probably take river fishing this year, and he won't even be a year. He'll be on the bank and some shade with either Alicia or I while the other one fishes, and it's a good way to get him started and stuff. Yeah, it's awesome. I have really enjoyed getting her in the outdoors, and even if we catch one fish and she catches it, she has a blast, and it's awesome to see. So, but anyway, enough of the family talk. Cody had some changes, some good changes happen when it comes to land. Right after the podcast. I swear you text me the next day or maybe even a couple days later, but got a little bit more ground to play on.
I did. One of the guys that comes to our auctions quite a bit, he owns 50 acres of land, and these guys had promised to lease it, and so whatever happened, they fell through with it, and he called me out of the blue one day, and it's like, "Hey, you still interested?" Yes, I am.
Yes.
It's 10 minutes from home. It's perfect. I walked it, and when he told me where it was, and I got out the property, he's like, "Well, just go walk it and tell me what you think." So I walked down this steep hill, and it's all creek bottom. There's a little pasture down along the creek, and there was as many scrapes as I've probably ever seen in my life along there. It's an overgrown alfalfa field, and they were just loaded on the edges of it, loaded. So I walked it, and I walked kind of through the woods, and I kicked up some deer, and I said, "You know what? I said, this is perfect." I said, it's 10 minutes from home. I said, "This is what I'm going to do." So I picked it up the 2nd of November. My first sit was the next morning. I was a little late getting to work that morning. That's all right. But I sat, and I seen 2 really nice bucks. Not knowing the property, I sat up in the wrong spot. I actually made a rookie mistake of parking the damn four-wheeler 25 yards from me, and the buck I was planning on shooting seen it and didn't like it as much as I did.
Yeah.
So he hightailed out of there, but it was really good property. I've had I've run 3 trail cams out there. I've had some really nice bucks on camera, lots of does, lots of potential out of there. It's been hunted before, but it's kind of an older couple. They hunted it on the ground. They were after meat, and which I think you can do both on this property. But yeah, I'm excited. Like I said earlier, I've got some bucks dropping antlers. I'm gonna get out, and this time of year is my favorite time to scout.
Mm-hmm.
I love this time of year.
Mm-hmm.
So easy to find their tracks, follow the bedding areas, follow their transition zones. It makes it so nice right now scouting.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm assuming so you will get at least that again next year. Awesome. Good deal. So actually, I brought up one thing we talked about in the last podcast that I did a week ago, or maybe a couple of days ago now. But relationship with landowners, because like I have 2 spots that I hunt that are by permission, and I've developed a good relationship with them. So obviously, over time, you developed a relationship with this guy.
Yes.
And that's why, so he knew that you hunted, so when the opportunity arose, you took it,
Exactly.
That's one thing. Pretty much what I'm saying, people, is don't be an asshole. If you're nice to people, you never know when an opportunity might arise and you pick up 50 acres of land to hunt.
Exactly. It's people don't realize how important speech class was in high school. Like
Yeah.
being able to not just break down in front of people. I mean, it helps. It helps having that skill set. And I know there's some videos on YouTube. I think Seek One does like a
Oh yeah.
they do like a webinar or a seminar deal and kind of break it down and show you like how to talk to people. And it's just be nice. Just be yourself. Don't be nervous. I mean, I still get butterflies when I try doing it, but I mean, just talk to people, and you never know what's going to happen.
Yep. Good story here. I doubt he watches this, but if he does, text from Wyoming. You're a good guy, dude. But Dad and I were antelope hunting, driving around looking for antelope. I had an opportunity that morning and blew it, but we kept running into this guy driving around, and we stopped and talked to him once or twice, and it was the reason. It's funny. The one reason we stopped and talked to him on the road, and it was weird. There was a skunk in the middle of the roadway, and it was just running down the road, refused to go off to the side. So we're like going super slow behind the skunk, don't want to get Dad's truck sprayed. And this guy pulls up, and he's kind of laughing, and we're BSing with him and stuff, and we introduced ourselves, and he just said, "Oh, good luck," whatever. Went to the next day. We went to this piece of public, chasing these antelope, and these antelope were just on the other side of this property. So we couldn't go shoot them. Anyway, we come back to the truck for a break, and this guy sees us, pulls up, and is BSing with us. And he's like, "Oh, did you have any luck?" And we're like, we saw some nice ones, but they're those white fence markers. They were just on the other side of them, and we know we could have shot them, got away with it, all that, but we're not going to do that. We know it's wrong. We're not going to do that. And he goes, "Oh hell, that's my property. You boys go get them." And I'm like, "What?" And then my dad, this is the wisdom behind his ears, behind his years. He said, "Was there an easy way to get to the back? Because it was a pretty good walk for us to get where we were." And he's like, "Yeah, follow me. I'll take you on the private road right down it." And I remember he parks us, and we're like on the edge of two. I'm looking up Onyx, and we're at the edge of 2 big ranches. One's like 8,000 acres. One is like 3,000 acres. Fraser, give me attention.
I got a friend.
And I'm like, "You're gonna get kicked out, puppy." So I asked him, like, "Well, which ranch is yours? Like, which ranch can we hunt?" And he goes, "Oh, I own the rights for all of them. Hunt it all." So just like that, we had over 10,000 acres to hunt antelope, and Dad and I killed out that afternoon.
That's awesome.
Within an hour of each other. So again, don't be asshole. You never know. If you're just nice people, have a good conversation. You never know when you're gonna get permission to hunt some land, and no matter what state you're in.
Exactly.
So after last time I talked to you, did you get to harvest any other deer?
Yes, I did. The same night I took my son out, I took him out that morning. That evening, I actually shot a little buck. My son I really like having him a part of the kill process, and I shot him, and then I called my wife immediately. I said, "Hey, bring him down here." I said, "I got one. Let's I want to take pictures with him and do all that." And he loved it. He sat on it. He picked up the antlers. It was something special. I enjoyed it. And then he got the field dressing, and I got 5 million questions. What are you doing? Well, why are you doing that? he went to school and said, "Daddy took the deer's heart out." I'm sure his friends and I'm sure all the parents out there are gonna love me, but
Yep.
I mean, that's all part of life, and
Mhm.
they'll see it one way or another. So
Do you that actually brings up a question. Do you eat the deer heart?
I do. I love
do.
it.
I do too. How do you do it?
So I take it. I used to just cut it out and then just slice it up and
Mhm.
then do like tacos or stuff out of
Mhm.
it. But
Mhm.
I learned if you take it and you cut like out the top and cut all like
Mhm.
the ventricles and stuff out of it, it's not as rubbery.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll slice it and I'll do kind of like people do liver and onions.
Mm-hmm.
I'll slice it up and do that, and then I'll make like a gravy out of it, and I'll
Mhm.
put it over like mashed potatoes. That's my favorite way to have it.
I have not had it over taters. That would probably be really good. That's happy you told me that. I'll
It's
keep
very
that.
good.
Keep that. That would be good. I know normally I've done the taco thing. It's really
good.
good. I think that's a good way to introduce heart to somebody.
Yes.
So because they're like, wait, I'm eating deer heart right now. I'm like, yeah. And then normally I just fry them. You know, give a light batter with onions, fry them. But yeah, no, I'll have to remember the over mashed potatoes. That would be really
You gotta
good.
make a little gravy. Oh man,
Oh, yeah.
it's.
That would
I
be
wish I
good.
had some heart
Now-
right now. I'd make it.
You know, we talked about meat eater earlier. I tried their butter whiskey coffee deer heart recipe. It's on their YouTube, and it was on one of their episodes. I don't remember which episode it was, but they did it on one of their episodes on Netflix. And anyway, it smelled good. It looked good.
Mm.
I took a bite. I did not like it. and I mean, when I'm making it, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be so good. I mean, you could smell the whiskey, you could smell the butter. I love coffee rub, and that's what they want you to use, coffee rub. And I'm like, this is gonna be delicious. I took a bite, and I'm like, there's no way it was that bad. Took another bite, and I probably had 5 or 6 bites before I realized, yeah, I just don't like it. I wanted to like it so bad, and I just couldn't get behind it. But yeah, now you got me hungry. Ready for some deer heart, and I ate all mine. I only killed one this year, but so anyway, it's now 2022. Obviously turkey season's coming up, so I know you got some plans for turkey season. Because I've talked to a couple people. Obviously, don't name where you and Kyle possibly have a tag for. Don't name that area, but I know you guys have a good public land turkey tag.
Yes. Let me first state I hate turkeys with an utmost passion. They're smarter than me. They beat me every single time. I killed my first and only longbeard I've killed. I killed in 2016 on the last year we owned the orchard actually, and I haven't killed one since. And for some reason I've had opportunity after opportunity, and it just won't click. I don't. Those birds are smarter than me. I don't understand it, but I get set up perfect. I'll call them in. I'll do everything how I think's right, and then 40 yards, and then they'll just walk away out of my life forever. It just I don't even care if it's a Jake at this point.
If it's legal, it dies.
Exactly. I'm an equal opportunity turkey harvester, and this year we did a group tag in Illinois. You can apply for a group tag, so it's kind of if one gets one, all gets one. So I drew one. Kyle Orwig and a buddy of mine did. So our plan is our weekend or our season is Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I believe. So we're gonna go camp Friday, Saturday, Sunday night, and kind of do some scouting and try to put them to bed because it's a drive for us to get there. So we're gonna give it a shot, and hopefully this isn't year 7 that I go without one.
Yep. I know. I talked to Kyle about it, and we were thinking that if I have a chance, I might come film you guys. At least it might be halfway through it or anything like that. And I think I might be sending Kyle a couple of my cameras because he's getting into the filming thing. So, but no, I've actually never been to the public land that you guys are hunting at, and I've been ever since you talked about it. I've been itching just to check it out, even if it's just for a hike or something. So that'd be awesome to go film you guys, and hopefully, and I'll bring my calls and decoys and all that, and give you as much help as I can.
Please.
Yep. I'm not saying
God, please.
not saying I'm the greatest turkey hunter. Last year they kicked my ass, I had a whole bunch of close calls too last year, and definitely there were some times where I zigged when I should have zagged. Like I'm the one who screwed it up. But other times I'm just like, I don't know what else I could have done different. Like,
I just please come in.
one thing though, I was gonna tell you. So the last turkey I killed, no, it was a turkey this year that I didn't kill. My grandpa killed. He gives me the drumsticks and thighs because he doesn't like them. I'm too tough. Got all those tendons and stuff in it. I figured out a great recipe for turkey tacos. Now you could also do pulled turkey if you wanted for a sandwich too. I did the seasoning more on the taco side, but it would be very easy to change it to if you want pulled turkey sandwich. But I did some taco seasoning stuff in it. But what I did is take those legs and thighs, and I threw them in a Dutch oven, cast iron Dutch oven, and I threw them in my smoker with the lid off. I think I did chicken broth if I remember right. Chicken broth and then some taco seasoning, like salt and stuff like that. And I smoked it with the lid off. I'm trying to remember how many hours it took to pull. Let's say it took 6 hours to pull apart. I did 3 of those hours with the lid off, so it would get some of that smoke flavor. And then the last 3 hours, I put on the lid. Anyway, I kept it until everything was pulling apart. Once it was pulling apart, I drained all the fluid and took all the bones out, so you just got shredded turkey meat there. And my daughter loved it. My wife, who honestly isn't the biggest wild turkey fan, she really liked it. And I put on a little tortilla shell with cheese, sour cream, some homemade salsa that my father-in-law makes, and it was very good. Highly recommend it.
Yeah, I'm hungry now.
Yep.
You did it.
Yep. Highly recommend it. And it's a good way to get rid or use those legs and thighs. And I don't know if everybody I know that eats meat, like I think I could make it for them and everybody would like it.
Sounds very good.
And then obviously, hopefully we both have some good turkey season.
I can hope so.
And you said before the podcast that possibly a trip for you. Maybe so.
It's
pending approval.
It's pending father-in-law's approval. I'm planning on going to, I think, Colorado, elk hunting.
Yep.
That's in the works. I gotta justify myself spending the money to get everything else I need to do it. Which is, if you're trying to buy stuff right now, it's rough.
Yeah.
Tents. It doesn't matter what it is. It's hard to buy things right now.
So I know, like, there's some stuff. So this last elk hunt, we went with 4 people. There was some stuff where I thought, oh man, he brought this. I wish I brought that because that was better than what I had, and there was vice versa. It's like Kyle and I went. There's some stuff I wish I did like Kyle. Some stuff I know he said he wish I had. So I will say this: any stuff, because I'm not going on an elk hunt this year, unfortunately. Any stuff you just need to borrow for the year, for that trip, you just let me know to save you some money. Like I have a shelter you could use, real lightweight. I know Kyle was thinking about using it though, so you have to figure stuff out with him. But he has super nice shelter, but it's a 2-person shelter. So I mean, you guys could get away with that, but you guys would be like right on top of each other, just snuggling.
I'm not a fan.
Yeah. No, I did an open floor shelter from Kafaru, so it's just a tarp. I'm sitting there. You block it off so wind doesn't really get in that much, but you can see underneath the tent, like critters could crawl in with you, but it's so cold up and you're up so high in elevation, we didn't have any issues with that. Yeah, I liked it, but yeah, and I have a backpack if you wanted to use that and stuff.
Yeah, I actually ordered one. Don't tell my wife.
Yeah.
I ordered it to match my plethora of First Light gear that I ordered on last time we talked to. Yes.
Yes, that's what I have.
Yes, I got the. It's not the regular 4800. It's the other version that I can't think of the name.
Is it Born and Raised?
Yeah, Born and Raised. It's got like kind of different pocket locations and kind of changed it up a little bit.
I have the regular one, and I got nothing but good things to say about it. I'm sure the Bro one's gonna be great as well.
No, I can't wait to get it.
The only thing I wish I did, so I used that for deer season as well, just to try it. It's too big for deer hunting, but you can buy other frames or other size packs for it. So I think next year I'm gonna buy a smaller pack for it to go on my frame. It'll be better for deer hunting that way, then. But yeah, I think you're gonna like it.
Yeah, that was kind of my thinking. Is that like I said, I'm kind of a gearaholic, so it's nice to it'd be nice to have different options because I can kind of fine tune it to what I'm doing. And I'm one of those guys. I love hunting public land. My thinking was with the bigger one. Yeah, it's a little big, but I want to be able to walk a mile or two in the woods, throw all my coveralls, whatever I'm taking in the bag, walk out, and then not get so sweaty walking in.
If you get to go, which hopefully you do,
I hope so.
we'll have to have you and Kyle come on the podcast and we'll talk gear and stuff. Because I'll tell you one thing: number one, I should have been in better shape. Number two, I brought too much gear. Now one thing you guys won't have to worry about that I did. I had camera gear, which I think Kyle is going to take a camera or two, but still, you're not going to have the big camera here and the DSLR and stuff like that. So that'll cut back a little bit, but there's definitely I brought too much food. Which you always think you get out there and you're burning calories, no doubt about that, but you're not that hungry sometimes, so you almost got to force yourself to eat. Like I think we both had like 2 dehydrated meals a day. Is what we packed for. We each had one a day, so that's one thing. 1 dehydrated meal a day and snacks, man, or something like that. Well, I'm hoping you get to go on that trip. I can't help you with your father-in-law, but I did get to know your wife pretty good. Maybe I could talk to her a little bit.
My wife already gave me her blessing because she knows how bad and how long I've wanted to do this. It's kind of something I've always wanted to do. Convincing her was pretty easy. Convincing the father-in-law, your father-in-law's also your boss. It's not easy to request time. No, he ain't. You're going to work.
It's a very difficult hunt, but I think it's just breathtaking out there. Though I think you and Kyle have a great time. I'm jealous, to be honest with you. I do hopefully get to go antelope hunting this year in October, but. Damn Nate again. There'd be a lot of shit talking about Nate on this podcast. Nate is getting married during elk season, and so I guess he's the best man in it. So I gotta go do that. Damn you, Nate.
Messed up, hey Ron.
I know. I love you, buddy, but you're already screwing with me here. But anyway, and then after you guys hopefully go kill some elk, deer season again.
Well, I can't wait. I usually go through like the deer depression. I don't know, it's a clinical term that every hunter coins, kind of like duck depression. Everybody goes through it, and kind of like twitching. I don't know what to do with my hands deal. Now, with the serious whitetail hunter, deer season never ends. I mean, you go from hunting season, deer season to shed season, and then you go from shed season to scouting, food plot, running cameras. It just, if you want it to be, it'll never end. And that's my goal this year, is to do more homework with the lease that I got and with my knowledge on public land. My goal this year, more than anything, is information. I want to know everything I can. I've got some really nice up-and-comer bucks that I'm going to be looking forward to. Hopefully they're healthy. I want to, the landowner gave me permission to put food plot in his alfalfa field.
Awesome.
So my plan is to section it off with some screening and kind of close it off. And I want to do a mix of maybe radishes or turnips or something that nobody else has around. I want to be different.
What screening do you plan on doing?
I have no idea.
So I do have a little bit of opinion on this. Awesome. I planted screening for the first time this year. I planted this supposed to be quail mix, and when it was mossy oak biologic, I just remember it's quail mix. I don't remember what like the actual name was and stuff. And on the package, like it looked like it was only going to get waist high, maybe chest high. I planted it out front here, thinking, hey, I'm going to test it out in front of my house. We'll give it a kind of cool background, and maybe some rabbits and quail will use it, which I did hear some quail in it this summer when I planted it. Nice. Now mind you, I'm only 5'9". It's not like I'm super tall, but it was over my head. It got some of the sorghum stalks were 6 foot tall.
That's awesome.
So that's what I'm going to use next year. I used the Northwoods Whitetail Conceal bag on my food plot, and that stuff only got waist to chest high. And some spots it was even like knee high. So it did not do as well, and I don't know, maybe different soil types. That definitely might have been some of it. I did not do any soil testing, to be fair, so it definitely could have been some soil type. Um, However, that Mossy Oak Biologic took off that quail mix. That's what I'm going to use next year for screening, and then eventually I want to get, since I own the place, I eventually want to get not sorghum, blue stem, little stem, switchgrass in. But that stuff it might take a couple years for it to really take off, and you got to mow it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or sorghum and that kind of stuff, it's good to plant 1 year and plant it every year,
Yeah.
But that's what I would recommend, was that Mossy Oak Biologic. That stuff did way better than the Whitetail Institute Conceal.
I'll have to give it a shot.
Yeah, and I just ordered it direct. I don't remember if I ordered it on Amazon or I might have ordered that directly from the website.
Okay.
So that'd be my recommendation when it comes to the concealment. So you think you're going to focus more on the lease this year than public land?
So for the first part of the season, no.
Mm-hmm.
So for the first, our season starts October 1st. So from October 1st until I'm going to say the 20th, 21st, I'm going to focus strictly public land.
Mm-hmm.
My goal is to shoot a doe. That's always my goal. Before November, I'd like to have one doe in the freezer. So that's going to be my main focus, is trying to put a doe and not burning my stands out. I've had a habit of doing that before.
Yep.
Seeing a deer on camera and just get all antsy.
Hunt it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it screws me in the end. But so for the first 3 weeks of the season, my goal is strictly public. And then when we start to transition into like the chasing and the pre-rut phase, then I'm going to start inching into some of my better spots. And then I'm going to wait till November. And when November hits, I'm going to hunt hard. And I'm going to hunt from last year, I'm going to use my information I had and then kind of move on from there.
Mm-hmm. No, that'll be good. I think that's a good plan. I know I hunt. Figure out what my dog's doing here. So I know, I have 3 properties I can hunt. One I treat like public land because I think there's like 20 guys that hunt it. Now it's like 300 acres, but it's still like 20. So I just treat it like public land. I'll hit that hard early. If I screw deer up, it happens. But then I'll save my property and the other property more for the good stuff. November. One thing though that you brought up in a text the other day, and I don't know anybody else that shoots one, so I want your opinion on it. While you're talking about it, I'm gonna let my dog out. But you shoot prime archery.
Yeah, I made the switch this year.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
So tell me what you think about that, and because I've only shot two bows growing up that I can remember. I shot like Matthews Genesis in school and all that stuff, but I was a bear guy for a long time. Only shot bear. Then I switched to Hoyt, and I love my Hoyt. I don't know what I'll switch to next, or maybe I might stick with Hoyt. But I know Prime, ever since Meat Eater, and honestly, since their sponsor Meat Eater, has gotten really big. Just kind of tell me what you think, and so just your opinion on it.
So it's different. I like a specific kind of bow. My goal is a 34-inch axle to axle. That's been my sweet spot. I used to shoot professionally for dart and archery, and I love that target feel of bows. And that 34-inch axle that's my sweet spot. And it's hard to find. Like, you look at the Matthews, anything, and they're all great pieces of equipment. But none of them fit that longer axle to axle category. I like 34-inch and 6-inch brace height. And finding just any manufacturer that has it, it's hard. Finding that group. And so I found it, and I did a lot of research. I watched hours and hours of videos on them, watch people shoot them. I don't care what the speed test is, but I watch the draw cycles. I watch them hunt with them. I've always been interested in it. For one, with being a short draw archer, I've had some problems in the past with camling. And camling just destroys your accuracy. You have to put top hats or shim it, and I don't want to mess with that. I want something I can pull out of the box, and I know right out of my case that it's going to shoot. And I actually had to drive down to Quincy, Illinois. They're the closest prime dealer around, and I shot the new inline and I shot the Nexus, and I just kept shooting that Nexus, and I actually dropped down in poundage, and I'm shooting, I think it's three foot a second faster than what I was with my Elite, and I love it. It just, the draw on it's really smooth. It's very accurate. I mean, it's a good shooting bow, and I've shot some great stuff, and in my opinion, that's probably my favorite that I've shot so far.
Awesome. What broadhead are you shooting?
That's a good question. So, I change broadheads like I change underwear, frequent and often, and I want to get more in the fixed blade. I'm starting to shoot. I'm starting to get out of this. When I was like younger, the speed. Now I'm getting more mature and everything. I want accuracy. I want to be able to hit a flea's ass at any distance, and that's what I'm looking for. And I've shot the mechanicals. I've shot Rage. I've shot Swackers. Grim Reaper's probably been one of my favorites. I really like their broadheads. I shoot them out of my crossbow. But I actually shot Severs this year, which is kind of a new company. They have the pivot design, so if you hit bone, the whole blades will rotate, so you don't rage it and hit them in the shoulder and then lose it, everything. So, but I actually this year I'm going to try to go. I want to kind of follow the Ranch Fairy, and I kind of want to shoot a single bevel two blade. That's kind of what I'm looking into this year.
So have you started going down that rabbit hole?
You said that about the first light. I'm like, yeah, whatever. It's Pandora's box, and I opened it, and now I opened the two blade box, and now I'm kind of wishing I hadn't.
So I started going down that rabbit hole last year. That's what I've switched to. Now, mind you, I've only shot one animal. I guess take that back. I had shot two animals, but I hit one was in a buck, no man's land. I didn't find it, but I shot a doe. Good shot with the doe, and the two blade system zipped right through. I shoot iron wheels, which are expensive if you go down that path.
I've seen that.
Yeah, really like them. And I bought the sharpener with them and keep them razor sharp. I really like them, and I shoot the wide cut, 100 grain, and then I shoot. Oh man, I can't think of my arrow right now. It's gonna bother the hell out of me. One of the arrows are sitting right out there. Deep Six arrows. I went and bought them through their company. Yeah, I love them. But you can start doing Ranch Fairy and start spine testing them. And don't get me wrong, my arrows shoot well, but it used to be you go to the shop, you cut your arrows, they fletch your arrows. The next day you're shooting them, and you're not worried like, oh, whatever. You're not worrying about it. You know, your arrows, you did minimal work, and your arrows were ready to shoot in 15, 20 minutes.
Yep.
It takes, like, for me to get a dozen arrows, it might take me 2 days. And the reason it'll take me 2 days is I'll shoot for a couple hours, finally get, like, I just need to take a break, the next day, start it over again. It takes a while, but they do shoot good. It's a learning process. If you need help, I'll do the best I can. I'm no expert. But it's a rabbit hole. I'm happy somebody else is going to go down that rabbit hole, so I can talk to you about it.
One of the things that I say the biggest thing that I changed this hunting season, I made it a week before the season. Just dumb. Don't ever change anything a week before the season. Yep. But I switched away from the traditional blazer vanes. Everybody shoots them, or they shoot the AAEs or whatever, 4-fletch, 6-fletch, whatever. So I switched to Zinger fletchings.
I've seen them.
They're 3D printed. Oh my! It changed the way I do things. So I kind of figured out how to spine align them, and I just sat and I just kept rotating. I used a half-inch socket. I spaced them all the same way, and I've never touched them. I oriented them the way I wanted, and I took broadheads, and this is with mechanical. I haven't used fixed blades yet, but with the mechanicals and the field points, with minor adjustments, I was out to 50. Baseball, softball sides grouped out to 50, and with hardly any work. I mean, granted, you had to shoot a lot, but that was awesome. I mean, that was one product that I thought, man, this is a gimmick. There's no way that these, you can squish them. I threw them in the case. I abused them. They're right back. They're tough as nails. I think I paid $30, $35 for 12. There's no glue. There's no nothing. If you want to change, you're using the same arrows for target or whatever. Just change them out. It's that I think that's going to change the way I personally do things. Having the ease of doing that, and it's definitely made my arrows a lot more accurate.
So how do you get them on your arrow?
So they're, I guess it'd be pressure fit.
Okay.
So that they kind of fit snug around the arrow, and I take the knock off, and then I get a 0.5 millimeter socket. I turn it upside down to the square part. I just press it down to make sure they're all the same, and then I'll put the knock back on, and then I'll shoot them, and then I'll just kind of rotate the vanes to find that sweet spot on them, and it made things because I seen people like bear shaft tune. I'm like, man, I want to get into that. What did I do? I got my pocket knife off and I started shaving veins off. I did like 4 arrows.
So I bear shaft tuned all my arrows. So I know that process.
Yeah, I said, you know what, I can do this. Hell, they can do it, I can. And that was wrong. But I bought these. I said, you know what, this will make it easier. And it's changed the way that I look at arrows, and it's helped me become a better archer, definitely. Because, like you said, 20 minutes, you're out shooting. I didn't know anything about, even after I shot with Darden, I had no idea about spinal lining or doing any of that stuff. I just, hell, if I could hit the 10 ring, that's all that mattered. Now, I mean, I understand the process that goes into doing that stuff.
Huh. I'll have to look into those. I heard of them, but I guess I didn't realize how they snap on, because I do AAE stealth fletch.
Yep.
And I got my own fletcher. I actually went out, so I used to go through, shout out to Don, Havana Outdoors.
Don's a
really,
good guy.
yeah, really liked that shop. Went through him all the time. He took care of me and my buddies. He had an opportunity to close that down and go to work for Presley's Outdoors for a while, and then I think he's moving now on to bigger and better things. But really like the guy. I have nothing but good things to say. Where was I going with that when it comes? He always did my arrows and stuff. Anyway, when he closed down, I'm like, well, nothing against Presley's. I just don't want to go that far. It's a farther drive. They do a good job, but I just didn't want to go that far. So I went out and bought an arrow saw. So I have an arrow saw in my garage right now. When it comes to arrows, I can do everything. I don't need to take arrows anywhere. I just order them, get them shipped here. I can do it all.
Yep.
So now when it comes to working on a bow, that's a whole other thing. I have not went down that rabbit hole. I hope I don't go down that rabbit hole. So I'll go to Presley's for that.
Yep, I don't blame you a bit. Don's an amazing guy. He set up almost every bow except for my last one that I've owned. He's an awesome guy. He's a world class dude. His same thing. He'd cut my arrows, get everything ready, and I never thought about it. But
now that I'll have to tell this story, I might have told it once before. I know I did, but I'll tell it again for Cody. I told this story with Ryan the Redcoat and Jesse the Redneck on. But anyway, they come up hunting. They're brand new to archery hunting. I put them in a small tent blind, which was probably part of the issue. But anyway, he pulls back. Does not have an arrow in his bow. He's just pulled back, and he's just testing, seeing his shooting lanes. His back elbow hits the back of the tent, which that gets him to let go forward. Dry fires his bow. Cable snaps off, and he's shooting an old PSE at that time, like early 2000s PSE. I don't remember what the model was. So string comes off the cams. He broke a piece of one cam, and there's something else he broke too. We take it that lunchtime. We take it to Don. Don's like, yeah, I don't have that piece. That they quit making that bow a long time ago. But Don gave him another bow to use for the weekend. Doesn't know this guy. He barely knows me at that time because Havana Outdoors have not been open very long. He barely knows me at this time. Ends up giving him just a bow, not a brand new, a used bow. Helps him set it up right there where he's shooting good at 20 yards, and said, hey, this will get you through the weekend, because that was the one weekend to bow hunt all year long. And sure enough, he gets into it and ends up, Ryan does the right and brings the bow back and all that stuff. But But like, you just met us and you're just giving us a bow, and yeah, as collateral, we left the old bow there, but that new bow is worth way more money. But that's just telling you how good of a guy he is. And stuff.
He is. I had a similar situation.
Mhm.
I had a Matthews I had some problems with. The bearings were coming apart. It was a common issue. I was getting ready to go to Missouri for their opener. I remember you stopping me one night when we were night shooting, getting ready a couple days before. But Don offered. He's like, "Hey, this is my personal bow. You're more than welcome to use it." He's just a good guy. And we need more people like that to keep the great sport that we love alive.
Yep, I would agree with that. Well, I think on that note, we've been almost an hour doing a podcast. So even with the interruption involved, but yeah, Cody, I appreciate you coming back on again. Probably will have you back on after turkey season, or maybe even during turkey season, depending on how it goes. Hopefully, you get a big gobbler down, or Jake. Take a Jake too,
I don't
or
care.
a bearded hen for that matter.
Well,
It's legal, so
exactly.
yep. Yeah, I appreciate you coming on. So these podcasts are going to come out now bi-weekly. Just with new kid, I'm trying to juggle life around. So this is going to be a bi-weekly podcast at this point in time. So every other week, maybe eventually we'll do more weekly again. But at this point in time, it's going to be every other week. And yeah, check out. I just had a video come out we're doing really good. It's a charity flag football game, and here soon I'm starting to work on our elk trip video, so that'll be cool. We had some close calls there and some good footage. I'm excited to share that with everybody. Other than that, again, thank you, Cody.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Have a good one. Say hi to your wife. She took good care of us a couple weeks ago, so it's good. It's good living in a small town. Everybody knows everybody. So other than that, everybody have a good one. Like, subscribe, follow. Be safe out there.